And I do see that there's a deferred prosecution offer in the file here from Mr. Altenberg. It's for a 3-month deferred prosecution to the charge of trespass. I don't see any conditions on the case except the fee for the deferred prosecution and then no criminal violations during the 3-month period. Is that right, Mr. Altenberg?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any other comment that you'd like to make, Mr. Altenberg?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd just like to state that Mr. Baker informed me that this was a situation in which he and an acquaintance of his were originally participating in some graffiti covering over some anti-Semitic symbols. And according to the police report, they had a very respectful confrontation with the officers. It was greatly appreciated. So the plea deal in the file reflects that.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Altenberg. So, Mr. Baker, you've heard what Mr. Altenberg's described, and I've kind of described the agreement. A deferred prosecution doesn't require that you plead guilty to anything. It's an agreement between you and the prosecutors that the court then makes a court order that basically keeps the case open for a 3-month period. If you go through that 3-month period without any other criminal charges that result in conviction, at the end of the 3 months, the case would be dismissed and your record would be sealed in connection with that. And when we seal a record, that means we seal our record. So if anybody calls and asks if you have a case, we would say no such case exists. We would tell the police department to seal their record and they would say no such case exists for you if you earn a sealing of your record. That's what you get at the end of that 3-month period. If this is what you'd like to do with your case, we can go ahead and go forward now.
Yes, please.
Do you have any questions for me before I make this a court order?
No, sir.
All right, so I am going to make that an order of the court. Are you able to pay the $100 deferred prosecution fee today?
Yes.
All right, so we'll make this a court order. It'll be a deferred prosecution to the original charge. No plea will be needed. I'm putting some notes here on our face sheet. No conditions other than no criminal violations. I'll impose the $100 deferred prosecution fee. We have you meet with our probation officer today. You're not on probation, but she's the one that will supervise the case and make sure that the case gets dismissed and your record gets sealed at the end of the period.
Gotcha.
Any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, so Leslie, are you going to walk him down or should I just give him directions on how to get down?
You can walk him down.
All right, we'll send you back with Leslie to meet with Fernanda and then get you on your way.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. You do the same. And I'm going to, did we let Mr. Altenberg know that we had Mr. Bissell next, I think?
Yes.
He went to do it.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. And I'll work on the paperwork for Mr. Baker here in just a moment and get Mr. Reynolds going forward and perhaps Ms. Reichenberg if she's got someone to call too. Go ahead, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Peck here, and we're going to ask for a 2-week continuance so he can get some information to our office. And then if he does that and it looks right, then we'll end up dismissing his case.
All right, so let's see, Mr. Peck, I'll call case number 2025-2110. We're going to set you over a couple of weeks, and then that'll give Mr. Reynolds and office a chance to review, the case. If you haven't heard from him by your court date, you may want to check back with him and see where things stand, but we would expect you to come back to the court on that court date if your case has not been dismissed. If he decides to dismiss the case, he's going to file a written motion to dismiss, and I will actually sign off on that, and that would be emailed to you. So that's how you would know you don't have to come back to court, is you would have an email that says with an order saying the case has been dismissed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. And do we already have your email address here?
Yes, you do.
Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and just send you right out front. Our clerk will get you that court date. Like I said, as long as you have the order saying the case has been dismissed before that court date, you won't have to come back. But if you haven't, make sure you come back because you would be on our docket and I wouldn't want a warrant to issue for not appearing.
Sure.
All right?
Understood.
All right. If you don't have any questions for me, Mr. Peck, I'll just send you out front. They'll be with you in just a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Take a quick look at those cases. I want to double check that we haven't put them in the warrant queue for failures to appear and double check on that.
So you can see he wasn't added to the docket, like.
Yeah, Ms. Dora, I talked to her last week and she rescheduled me because I had to move my camp.
Okay. And I'm just taking a quick look at, I don't see that. And I'm only doing this really to protect you, to make sure that I hadn't done something previously that said, hey, we'll issue the warrant. I don't want you to leave here and then be arrested.
I really do.
Nobody wants that to happen, right? So I always just double check when I've got people appearing. I think we've got one issue as far as the summons. Yeah, it didn't get loaded
Yeah,
up.
I just saw that. I'm looking for it right now and getting him.
Nothing you've done, but usually our summonses are in our document management database, and I'm not seeing it here, so just checking on that. Okay, but it does look like we've got some cases for you to address. And a lot of times, and since you've already been speaking with Dara, it might make sense to have a conversation with one of our navigators. Sebastian's here. I don't know if Dara is available. What's that?
I've spoken with all of them.
Is it okay to speak with Sebastian today? Would that make
I
sense?
spoke with him last week, like for the third time, but yeah, I don't mind, Your Honor.
I think it might make sense that way. And I think sometimes they have you come here because the case doesn't automatically qualify for the processing out at the community court location. So if you don't mind waiting, we'll let Sebastian know that you're waiting to speak with him.
No problem.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Glad you appeared. And do you have a copy for Jesse of
I
this?
was gonna give him that one.
Okay, yeah. You can go ahead and give that to him.
Thanks.
And then what I have for Mr. Nall. Good morning, Mr. Nall.
Good morning.
And Nick, is that in the system as well?
Yes, it is.
All right, so let me just pull that up.
What?
Give me just a moment, Mr. Nall. I'll kind of go over everything with you. I'm catching up with what Nick's been doing as well so that we're on this, all on the same page here. So what Nick has handed to you, Mr. Nall, is what's called a show cause advisement. There hasn't yet been an order. So Nick, I'm a little curious as to why we're giving this, because it hasn't actually gone through the prosecutor's office yet or been signed by a judge. So a little confused as to why we're serving that on the defendant right
I set it for today.
Right, because it's today's hearing.
I don't think anybody responded to it.
Okay, let me take a quick look and see what. So we're gonna pass Mr. Nall's case for a moment, because what I want to do is share with the prosecutors what Nick's just shared with you, and then we'll call your case back up, Mr. Nall. So if you just have a seat for a moment, I'm gonna handle one other case, and then we'll share with the prosecutors what you've just received, and we'll go to the next step in that case, in the case.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, just go ahead and have a seat. And Mr. Reynolds, if you're ready to call a case.
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Smiley.
All right, Ms. Smiley, if you'll come forward and go ahead whenever you're ready, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Your Honor. Spoke with Ms. Smiley about her dog at large ticket. And I do believe we reached an agreement where if Ms. Smiley agreed to plead either guilty or no contest, we'd be recommending a fine of $20 and then waiving of court costs. Obviously, Ms. Smiley has had tickets like this in the past, but it's been now over 2 years. And I would consider this to be a pretty benign dog at large ticket. You know, we can't give anybody permission to have their dogs off leash, and so people do so kind of at risk of getting tickets. But you know, given the fact that Ms. Smiley, you know, used to get a lot of these, and it's been now over 2 years, and also, you know, some other things going on in her life, this seems like a good resolution.
Okay, so Ms. Smiley, what I've heard from Mr. Reynolds is if you were to plead guilty or no contest to this charge, he would ask that I impose a $20 fine and waive the court costs. Is that what you'd like to do? All right, let me go ahead and accept that guilty plea. This is the charge of having a dog at large, which is a violation of section 6116 of the Boulder Revised Code, allegedly occurring May 27th of 2025 at 99 Redstone. How do you plead to that charge?
No contest.
All right, I'll accept that no contest plea. And then I am going to follow the recommendations from Mr. Reynolds. Oh, Mr. Reynolds, before you leave, can I just have you just hang on for just a moment? I wanted to share something with you about Mr. Nall's case. And then I am going to just impose the $20 fine for you. Ms. Smiley will waive court costs. So let's start out with the very beginning. You'll recall back in August of 2024. So last year you got a citation, a ticket. And then You came in on August 20th of 2024 in front of me. You pled guilty to an aggressive animal charge. I suspended all of the fines. And I indicated that the only conditions would be that I would suspend the forfeiture of your dog for 1 year on condition that you not have any animal violations for a 1 year period. That was that case number 2024-4035. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
Okay. Subsequent to that, after that, our probation officer filed a request for a show cause advisement in that case. And the allegation here is that you received a new violation on May 29th of 2025 for an aggressive animal charge, which could constitute a violation of my suspended sentence. And that's in a new case that's been pending for you. And that's on today's docket.
Yep.
I'm going to pull that case up now and go over the new charge with you. And there is a new aggressive animal charge. And this allegation indicates that at 30th and Mapleton, on May 29th of 2025, you had an aggressive animal charge in violation of section 6120 of the Boulder Revised Code. So if you're found guilty of that charge, you could lose the benefit of me suspending forfeiture of the loss of your dog. I wanted to make sure you understand that. You haven't pled guilty to that charge, but that charge is now pending. There are a number of different ways that you can proceed with the case. And I want to make sure you understand, since you came in late, you are presumed innocent to that charge. It's that presumption of innocence remains with you throughout this process. It would be the prosecutor's burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You would have the right to plead not guilty or guilty to the charge. You can also have a conversation with the prosecutor. If you'd like to discuss the case with either Mr. Altenberg or Mr. Reynolds, you have the option of doing that this morning to discuss the new charge and how that might impact the loss of the suspension order that I indicated in the other case. That's an option for you today. I would encourage you to have that conversation, see if there's a resolution that you all can reach. You also could be eligible for public defender representation before even having a conversation like that. If you'd like to reschedule the case and come back where we could appoint counsel to represent you, because you are indigent, and I know that to be the case, I could appoint counsel to represent you, and then Ms. Talene would represent you in connection with the case. So that's an option for you today as well. What would you like to do?
I guess I have to see what they have to say. If I go to the whole court process, I can't get a public defender anyway. There's perfect conflict of interest with me in the public defender's office. That's why I have ADC on these other cases.
So you have the alternate defense counsel that's been appointed, perhaps in other courts, not in ours.
Yeah, but I gotta just talk to the see what they say first before.
You want to talk to the prosecutors first? Is that what you're suggesting? Is you want to have a conversation and see what they're willing to do in the case? Okay. And that makes sense to me. So there are some people who have appeared in front of you, so it'll be a little bit of a wait. Are you able to wait today?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you
I was sure late because I had to find somebody with my dog.
yeah, I understand. So let's go ahead and just have a seat. And then there's probably 7 or 8 people in front here. So if you need to go down to the hall and go to use their facilities or whatever you need to do, feel free, but just keep checking back in with us. If you want to remain in the courtroom, Mr. Altenberg and Mr. Reynolds will be both available to meet with you at some point.
Is he one of them?
Yeah, Mr. Altenberg. That's right. I don't know that you all have seen each other yet.